After my husband's funeral, I found out I was pregnant. For this child, I tried hard to suppress my pain deep in my heart, because my husband Zachary had weak sperm. This pregnancy was particularly difficult. I had already lost over 40 pounds. I was almost half dead. Later, my in-laws couldn't bear to see me like this anymore. They tried to persuade me to terminate the pregnancy. They suggested that Zachary's twin brother, Ethan, should take care of both families without explicitly marriage to both women. But I refused all their suggestions. Zachary was so good to me, how could I give up? Actually, when I first got engaged, it wasn't to Zachary, but to his brother Ethan. But before the wedding, I was kidnapped and abused for 3 days and nights. Ethan thought I was impure and broke off the engagement to marry Sophia instead. It was Zachary who rescued me from the kidnappers. He was stabbed multiple times but still held me tightly. He knelt firmly in front of my father, saying he had loved me for a long time and wanted to marry me. For years, everyone said he loved me deeply, and under his gentle care, I gradually healed the wounds in my heart. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last long. Just 3 years after our marriage, he died in a car accident. My world collapsed, and I even thought about following him. It was this child that gave me the motivation to live on. This was his only bloodline. Even if it cost me my life, I wanted to keep this child. The idea of Ethan taking care of both families was absurd. However, just as I reached the door of my in-laws' room, I heard my mother-in-law's confused voice from inside. "Zachary, it was clearly your brother who died. Why did you insist it was you?" "Zachary, wasn't that my husband's name? He didn't die? The person who died in the car accident was actually my husband's older brother Ethan?" I was shocked, as if struck by lightning. My eyes widened, and I stood there stunned. How could this be possible? I shook my head hard, thinking I must be hallucinating. But the next second, I heard a man's voice from inside. "Mom, don't let Sophia know about this. She's always been weak and sickly, with a bad heart. If she knew it was my brother who passed away, her body definitely couldn't take it." "Ethan, no, I should call him Zachary. My husband Zachary." He paused, then sighed and said, "Besides, the person I've always loved is Sophia. I only married Rachel to let Sophia be with my brother. Now, I've given Rachel a child, so I don't owe her anything anymore. In the future, I'll take care of Sophia for the rest of my life in place of my brother. Don't mention taking care of both families again. It'll only make Sophia sad and upset. Mom, I've suffered for 3 years, pretended for 3 years. I've had enough. Living with her is torture for me every day. Now that heaven has given me a chance to be with Sophia again, I don't want to give up this opportunity." They said some more things inside, but I couldn't hear anything anymore. I just felt cold all over. It felt like someone had stabbed me hard in the chest. The pain was unbearable. I stumbled back to my room. Only then did I realize that my whole body was shaking, and my face was already covered in tears. So, the person who died in the car accident wasn't my husband at all, but his brother Ethan. And Zachary's deep love and gentle care for me over these 3 years were all fake. The person he liked, from beginning to end, was the same as his brother. Only Sophia. Even the person who had me kidnapped back then was Zachary. The reason was simply to let Sophia marry Ethan. If they didn't want to marry me, they could have broken off the engagement openly. But they chose to ruin me instead. What's more ridiculous is that I actually treated this demon as my salvation, and I was even willing to risk my life to have his child. Although I had tried hard to calm my emotions, the hatred and anger in my heart still made my tears flow uncontrollably. The next day, I came downstairs with swollen red eyes and a